guys mad at me for something? I mean, I risked my job so that you could have fun, and we definitely did. The least you could do is, say thank you. I shut you up.
Everybody, it's Susan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I am going to be reviewing the movie Ma, and this will be a spoiler-free review. I do plan on filming a second version of this that will be a spoiler-filled version, so if you have not seen the movie yet, you are completely fine to watch this video. So if you have not already seen it, I did do a video of an unboxing of a package that I received from Ma, aka Blumhouse and Universal. If you have not seen that Ma unboxing, I will link it up here in an iCard so that you can go and check that out. But I did receive this lovely rhinestone bling sexy hat and the Ma beer pong black solo cups game. So that was a party package from the movie. When I did go to see the movie, I saw it at the very last showing, the latest showing on opening night, and I did wear the hat. So I'm gonna insert some of that footage right here so that you can see that. Okay, you guys, we are ready to go see Ma. All right, you guys, the hat is on the dash of the car. I am going to attempt to put it on when we go into the movie.
There we go.
Okay, you guys, so I thought that we would video me attempting to put this hat on over my hair rolls. So here we go.
I'm gonna edit all this part out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is why I never wear hats. Okay, have it. Do I look very inconspicuous? Do you think anyone will notice? Think anyone will notice me going into the movie at night in this? Here we go. Okay, so we just got out of the movie. Still got the hat on. Feel like people are gonna be afraid of me now. But the hat really wasn't in the movie that much. I didn't have anyone say anything to me. I had someone say cool hat, but I didn't have anyone that knew the reference. But again, I did go on opening night and I went to the very latest showing. That was the only one that I was able to make due to my schedule. So I would like to maybe go and see it again and wear the hat and see if people notice and they say anything. The hat is not featured in the film as much as I thought that it would be going in, but it is still very cool nonetheless. And once I reorganize this, it is going to have a very cool spot on one of my shelves, as well as wearing it every now and then, because who doesn't want to rock a sexy bling bloody hat? Really? Come on. As for the movie, let's go ahead and talk about who directed this, who stars in this, and the plot of the film. The movie Ma was released on May 31st, 2019, with a runtime of 1 hour 39 minutes. This film is rated R and is classed as a horror/thriller. It was directed by Tate Taylor, who also directed the movie The Help. As an added bit of trivia, the director Tate Taylor also portrayed Officer Granger in the movie. The movie stars Octavia Spencer as Sue Ann, or Ma, Diana Silvers as Maggie, Juliette Lewis as Erica, and Luke Evans as Ben. It should also be mentioned that Allison Janney has a small role in this movie, which is great, and she was also a co-star with Octavia Spencer in the movie The Help, which was also directed by Tate Taylor. Ma launched domestically with an estimated $18.2 million on a $5 million budget. As for the plot of the film, it is a psychological horror thriller where a lonely woman befriends a group of teenagers and decides to let them party at her house. Just when the kids think that their luck could not get any better, things start happening that make them question the intention of their crazy host. As I said, basically the movie is about some teenagers, one specifically, Maggie. She gets invited to go and party with some other kids. They come across Sue Ann, who will become known as Ma, and they run into her in front of the liquor store, and she is one of the people that they proposition to purchase alcohol for them. And she agrees on a condition that they will come back and party in her basement so that she doesn't worry about them driving intoxicated. From there, things progress, and of course they begin to kind of get freaked out by Ma, which is not hard to do in this movie. Everything escalates from there. I will say that in this movie, first and foremost, I want to say that Octavia Spencer is amazing. She really gets into the character, and I feel that her character in this and the way that she portrayed Ma, Sue Ann, will kind of stand the test of time as far as, you know, a campy cult classic standpoint for her character. I do feel that this movie has an element of camp to it that is what will help it going forward. I feel like that campiness lends itself to forgiving some of the other flaws. As far as the acting and the group of teenagers, you do have your proverbial group of teenagers in every horror movie, and I do believe that that was done on purpose. I do feel that they did that to kind of poke fun, a little tongue-in-cheek at horror movies of the past. As far as the acting with the rest of the cast, Juliette Lewis is in this, Allison Janney is in this, so I do feel that everyone was believable, was good as far as their acting is concerned. There wasn't anyone that stuck out as really terrible acting or anything like that, and honestly, with Octavia in the lead, you're pretty fixated on her throughout this movie, which is another point that I want to touch on. I really like the fact that this movie is centered around a middle-aged female character who carries the entire film, and I think she does that really well. As far as what she was given to work with, I do feel that that could have been amped up a bit. I do feel that certain, you know, this is technically classed as a thriller versus a horror movie, yet I feel that there are elements in the last act that definitely state this is a horror movie. So you can kind of look at it both ways. It does have what most people would consider a long setup or kind of a slow burn to the action. Eventually you think, okay, we've seen the trailers, we know she's going to maim and or kill or try to kill people. When is this going to happen? And that's another point I want to touch on. I'm so tired of trailers giving away too much of horror movies. I mean, it used to be that you would see a trailer for a horror movie and you would kind of think that the movie was going to go one way, but then when you went to the theater to see it, you would find out, no, it goes a completely different direction. And unfortunately, I feel like now they just really want to use every peak moment of a movie to try to draw in ticket sales, that they give away a little bit too much. And I feel that if I had not seen as many trailers as I had, I would have enjoyed certain moments in this movie much more. Withholding a little bit for that surprise and that reaction from the audience would be better. If you are a fan of that slow burn of some back history, you know, kind of getting to know the characters a little bit more in depth before the action portion of the movie happens, then you're going to be happy with this. I know that this is kind of a point of contention with a lot of horror movies, especially who have big name stars attached to them, that people say, well, they weren't given enough to work with, or they could have utilized them better. And I'm in that camp a lot of the time, but I also realize that, you know, what you're seeing on storyboards and on paper and in read-throughs and in, you know, editing and post-production, there's a lot more that goes into everything, and so certain things do have to be eliminated. I do feel that within that setup time, there are certain character arcs that would have benefited more from a little bit more attention, and there was time that they could have subtracted from some of the other character
stuff.
And it would have played off better by that third act. At the end, there were a couple of things that were mentioned and that happened that you really didn't get even a slight explanation of or shown, and I feel like those connections and the dynamics between the characters, there were a few things they centered more on the teenagers than they did on some of the main dynamics that play at the end. And I know I'm being kind of vague and this kind of comes off strange, but I'm trying to do a spoiler-free review so that I don't ruin the movie for anyone. I am going to be uploading a spoiler-filled review as well, so that we can discuss that for those of you who go to see the movie after this or have already seen the movie. So stay tuned for that. That'll be up in a few days after I post this one. Let's talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack for this, the music, whether it be the score moments or the actual 80s music that is in this, epic. I'm a fan. They used songs like Funky Town and Kung Fu Fighting and that sort of thing, and then the score was very reminiscent of Halloween 2018. And I'll be honest with you, I did not look at who did the score, so I'm going to insert that right here. As far as the lighting and cinematography, I thought that it was well done. I thought the atmosphere was pretty well represented. Things weren't too dark in the evening, things weren't too bright during the day, and I know those are very simplistic qualities, but those simple things can, for me personally, can simply ruin a movie for me. So I do feel that those were done well. This is supposed to be set in Ohio, and originally being from the Midwest, I do feel that they represented the flatlands kind of accurately as far as that goes. Overall, this is kind of a cautionary tale, especially for young people. Now granted, this is a film that is 18 plus, but it is definitely anti-bullying. It is also definitely don't trust strangers. So if there's someone in your life that you feel needs those messages, just have them watch this movie. Also, I noticed different homages to classic horror films, and you guys know that some of my favorites are your old standby classics from the late 70s and from the 80s, and so I can't help but seeing those moments and noting them. I do feel that this is kind of Carrie-esque, and I love Carrie. So in a way, this has some nods to Carrie. The other one that I noticed some similarities to is Nightmare on Elm Street. And I don't want to give anything away as far as that's concerned either, but when you find out everything about the movie and the details, you'll see why well, hopefully you should see why I noticed that this also kind of tips its hat to the history of Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel like this movie is going to create a ton of fun memes. As a matter of fact, I did see one today, and I feel that this will become kind of one of those classic campy horror films that people reference. As far as the storyline, I did enjoy that. There are some different directions I would have taken some of it, but overall, because I am a fan personally of campy horror movies and things that are so bad they're good and that sort of thing, my review rating may be higher. I have not watched any reviews of it. I would give this, and you guys, you have to forgive me because I have not decided exactly how I'm going to do all of my movie ratings. I have wanted to do movie reviews for years now, but with life, a lot of traumatic things have happened, and a lot of bad stuff that I went through, and kind of would, you know, abandon my channel, and I just haven't done a lot. I mean, this wasn't even supposed to look like this for years, but had a lot of stuff going on that was a long-term situation. So that said, I'm gonna gear all of that up, but since I have not created my movie review scale yet, as it were, I am going to borrow an idea from the guys over at Bloodbath Beyond, who I have watched since way back in the day, and I love them. So if you haven't checked them out, I'm sure you probably have if you're here, but if you haven't, I will link them in the description box below. Please go and check out the guys, they're great. But I'm going to borrow an idea from them, and I'm going to say that I would give this movie 3.5 sexy bling rhinestone bloody caps out of 5. And that is because Octavia Spencer did an amazing job in this film. If she would not have been in it, I think my review might be a little bit lower, just because there are some things that I would have rearranged in the storyline and all of that. But with her performance, I thought she was incredible. I would love to see her do a sequel to this. I hope that there is a sequel to this. I will not say how or why I hope that, because I don't want to give anyone any indication to the ending, but as we all know with horror movies, it really doesn't matter how a movie ends. If they want to make a sequel, they will. Hello, Michael Myers. I would love to see a sequel to this. If you guys are going to see this, or if you have already seen it, comment down below and let me know what you think, and let me know what your rating on this film would be. I enjoyed it. I'm just really happy to see another female-centered horror film. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you on the next one. Please like this video if you want me to keep reviewing movies, old, new, and if you have any suggestions for films you would like for me to review, please comment down below and let me know. I will check those out and I will start making a list. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously, I'm trying to crank out some videos, and I'm gonna try to make everything better to look at here eventually. We're working on it, but you know, it's kind of heavy and I do have a neck issue.
Thank you, car accident and falling and all that good stuff.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you on the next one, and stay spooktacular.